ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now we are in the discussion about the flower. Now let us continue with the flower part. Now when we see the flower part here, we just are discussing about the four floral parts: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Now for the last class we have done calyx and different types of calyx, also called as sepals. What are the things we studied about the calyx? We studied about polysepalous, gamosepalous along with the examples. Calyx is also referred as sepals. Now coming to corolla, which is also referred as petals. Now petals also we just have taken into consideration of the same parameters: polypetalous, gamopetalous along with the examples, and then followed by we have to continue with stamens. Stamens is also called as androecium, and then we find gynoecium. Gynoecium is also called as pistil, which is also referred as carpel. Now when we take the sepals and petals, as we discussed earlier, they are called as non-essential organs. They only support the process here, that is why they are also referred as accessory organs. Then when we say these are non-essential, then which all will come under essential organs? When we say sepals and petals, calyx and corolla, when we say them as non-essential, then what are the essential organs in the flower? Then look at the down to what are we are pending with? Androecium and gynoecium. So when you take the androecium and gynoecium, these two are called as essential organs. Essential organs are also referred as reproductive organs. Now in our flower concept, the main important, the things which we have to continue our discussion with: stamens and pistils, that is androecium and gynoecium. Now so when we take the flower part, as we discussed earlier, now if you look at this is the flower, if you think the stalk of the flower itself is called as pedicel. Upper the cup shaped structure is called as thalamus, and inner to the thalamus what we find is called anther, or this itself is called as androecium, and just beside that the ovary along with the arrangement of a long filament structure, this is what is called as gynoecium. So mainly we find two things, what we call them androecium, and other one is called as what? Gynoecium. Now when we look at the androecium part, here we find a bulbous globular structure which we find exactly at the tip, and it is attached with the filament at the base. The long elongated structure which support the bulbous globular part which is present at the apical part itself is called as what? Filament. So let us continue our discussion with androecium. So what are the other terminologies we make use of? Androecium is also called as stamens, also called as anthers, or this itself is represented as the male gametophyte in case of higher plants. Now when I prick this, when I cut it from the flower, let us keep it aside for our complete study. Now if you look at the globular part which we find at the tip, that itself is called as anther. This is what is called as anther, and the basal stalk itself is called as filament. At the tip we find anther, and that is being supported by the stalk called as what? Filament. Now this anther is surrounded by a theca. A theca meaning a layer surrounding the anther. We find the layer which surrounds the anther. So here the layer which surrounds the anther itself is called as theca. This itself is called as theca. Now when you take the transverse section of the anther, when we cut it and see, inside we find two lobes are there. So this is we call one lobe and other one is called other lobe. Both are connected by tissue which markings the two chambers, which we call it as connective. So in the diagram you can see very clearly, here I am drawing what is called connective. On either side of connective we find the two chambers. So this is called as a bilobed anther. What do we call this? This is called a bilobed anther. Generally anthers are of two types. Now let us see very clearly where is the difference in the anther we find only in case of arrangement of theca and number of lobes. So based upon the arrangement of anther we call bisporangiate, tetrasporangiate, unilobe and bilobed. Now let us take the condition as anther. Now let us see the classification. Based on this we find the two important types of anthers. Now let us study that part in detail. Let us go with the classification. This is a basic structure. In any flower, if you take the structure of androecium or stamen looks like having the globular structure and it is being supported by what is called as a filament. Now, so let us see what are the different types of anthers we find, and number of pollen grains or microspores we call. Generally people we know about pollen grains. Pollen grains are responsible for fertilization. What I am telling you orally, pollen grains are responsible for fertilization. So pollen grains are produced within the anther. Where they are produced? Within the anther. Now let us see the structure of the anther, and based upon the structure we just classify them into two categories. So here I am writing anther, where the anther is present within the androecium and that is being supported by filament. So we are discussing here the two types of anthers. First one is called as monothecous, or itself is called as unilobed anther. Monothecous, or itself we call it as unilobed anther. And the second one is called dithecous or bilobed anther. What is the second category? Dithecous or bilobed anther. Now look, notice here we already have discussed theca. Theca meaning the layer. How many layers? Mono means only one layer. So when you look at the anther here, it's been surrounded by only one layer, that is only one theca. One theca means surrounded by only one layer. So it's called monothecous. And how many lobes are present here? So if you look at one theca, obviously in the side you find only one lobe. Now look at the thing what you have to understand about one lobe. Within that one lobe we find two chambers. How many chambers? One lobe contains two chambers. Now each chamber itself it contains a cell which itself is called as microspore mother cell. Microspore mother cell. Now how many chambers do we have? We have two chambers. This is first chamber, this is second chamber. So the two chambers which are present here, the two chambers contain how many microspore mother cells? Two microspore mother cells. Two microspore mother cells. So we call this as MMC. MMC means two. MMC meaning what? Microspore mother cell. How many microspore mother cells are present here? The two microspore mother cells are present because here we find only one lobe. Within that lobe we find two cells are present. Each cell itself is called a microspore mother cell. That's why it's called unilobed anther. Uni means one, only one lobe which contains two chambers. Two chambers has two microspore mother cell. Now listen carefully here. Why do we call this as a microspore mother cell? Now at the time of maturity, after it is completely developed, then what happens? So here I am writing MMC. Always wherever I write MMC, wherever we write this, try to remember MMC, it's nothing but a microspore mother cell. Now when I take one microspore mother cell, there is one cell here which undergoes one meiosis. So I think in lower classes we studied about two types of cell divisions. What are they? One we call mitosis, other one we call meiosis. Now here one cell will undergo one meiosis. As you know, one meiosis gives rise to 4 cells. The 4 cells which are produced here, we call them as pollen grains, or we call them as microspores. So try to remember, pollen grains are also called as what? Microspores. Sometimes in the question they will give that microspores are produced from microspore mother cells. So don't ever imagine pollen grains are different from microspores. No. Microspores and pollen grains, one another both are same. So here now look at this, come to the chamber in the diagram where we find only one cell is there. Now this one cell of microspore mother cell, so this is the mother cell. Now look at the diagram here, it is undergoing meiosis. As a result of this, it is produced with 4 cells. Similarly, I am drawing down part also the same. Here also one cell dividing into 4 chambers, each chamber or each one itself is called as pollen grain. Now this is what the dotted lines, what you can see in the diagram, which we call them as pollen grains. Right. So what we find here? So the dotted ones what are produced here, we call them as pollen grains. So pollen grains are also referred as microspores. Well, now you understood that this microspore mother cells giving rise to pollen grains. So if you look at the ratio, one microspore mother cell undergoes one meiosis. So whenever in the question if they ask about the ratio between number of MMCs and meiosis, guys you all try to remember it is 1:1 ratio. One meiosis, one mother cell. Suppose in the question if they ask about number of MMCs with the number of pollen grains. So I am writing here, this is for MMC, this is for meiosis. Suppose if they ask about the ratio of MMC and pollen grains. What is PG here? PG is nothing but what? Pollen grains. So MMC is nothing but 1 and the pollen grains produced from 1 MMC are nothing but 4. So what is the ratio of the option we have to choose? 1:4. So let me repeat the questions again here. Now when you take one microspore mother cell, here it undergoes one meiosis. So whenever they ask about the ratio here, I am writing clearly here, ratio of MMC and meiosis. So clearly I mentioned the question here, ratio of MMC and meiosis, take it grant that this is 1:1 ratio. Similarly, if the question is ratio of MMC and pollen grain, sometimes in place of pollen grain, microspores will be mentioned in the question. So at the time you have to take it grant that they are 4 in number for 1 MMC. So what could be the ratio we have to present here? 1:4. So these two are very important. Based on this we have a numerical questions are there which we have to solve it. Now entire story will come forward monothecus or we call unilobed anther. Entire story it will come for monothecus or we call unilobed anther. In that how many? One lobe has how many chambers? 2 chambers. How many microspore mother cells are present? 2 microspore mother cells are present. That is the reason why this condition is also called as bisporangiate condition. What is the condition we call? Bisporangiate. Bi means 2. Sporangiate means which represents 4 or 5. That we will discuss later. Sporangium represents the mother cells here. How many mother cells are present? 2 are present. That is why we call the condition as bisporangiate condition, meaning 2 microspore mother cells. So altogether for the first category, what are the things to remember? Monothecous meaning one theca, unilobe means one lobe, bisporangiate means 2 microspore mother cells, 1 meiosis for 1 microspore mother cell. Altogether it produces 4 pollen grains or 4 microspores. The ratio will be 1:1 if you ask for MMC and meiosis. It will be 1:4 when you ask about MMC and pollen grain. Right. Now let us come to the second category. Dithecous or itself is called as bilobed anther. Now look at the difference here. Again I am drawing the anther, but here in this case observe the diagram carefully. How many thecas I am drawing here? In this case how many thecas I am drawing? So this is first theca, followed by this one more theca. So we have 2 theca, so this is 1 and this 2. So we say there are 2 theca layers. 2 theca layers. That is why it is called as dithecous. How many theca layers? 2 theca layers. So we call a dithecous. So it is also called bilobed. Bi means 2. How many lobes? 2 lobes. So I am drawing in the center the tissue which separates the 2 chambers. Just beforehand we studied what is the centermost one. The tissue which separates the 2 chambers itself is called as connective. So try to remember, the tissue itself is called connective. What connective will do? It make as a mark between 2 chambers. These are 2 chambers. So we call bilobed. It is called bilobed. Bilobed means how many chambers? 2 chambers. Now if you look at this, each chamber has, so here you look at one chamber or one lobe we say. You write down here 2 lobes. This is one lobe, this is one lobe. Come to this part, one lobe contains 2 chambers. Now how many lobes are there? 2 lobes are there. So each lobe contains 2 chambers. This is one chamber and this is another chamber. Similarly opposite, other one also has 2 chambers. So altogether how many chambers here? 4 chambers. 2 lobes contain 4 chambers. 2 lobes contain how many chambers? Altogether we find 4 chambers. Why here we are writing 4 chambers in this case? Why? Because here one lobe contains 2 chambers. Altogether 2 lobes contain here 4 chambers, means one lobe having 2 chambers. Now when you say 4 chambers, in each chamber how many microspore mother cells are there? In each chamber we find a 1 microspore mother cell. So here we are discussing 1 microspore mother cell. Now how many chambers are there? There are 4 chambers. Of course down part if you can see, this is a stalk. Stalk is called as filament. Now how many here? Here 1 microspore mother cell undergoes 1 meiosis, produces 4 pollen grains. Like that how many mother cells are there here? This is 1 mother cell, this is 1 mother cell. Bisporangiate meaning 2 microspore mother cells. They undergo 2 meiosis. Altogether how many pollen grains? 8 pollen grains. So guys, in the numerical questions, if you know the bisporangiate example, whenever the anther is bisporangiate, the total number of microspore mother cells are only 2. Try to remember, which undergoes 2 meiosis, altogether produces 8 pollen grains. How many pollen grains? 8 pollen grains. This is a condition which you have to remember for bisporangiate. Coming to tetrasporangiate. Now in this case what happens? How many microspore mother cells? 4 are there. So this condition is called as, here I am writing tetrasporangiate. This condition is called as tetrasporangiate. Tetrasporangiate means how many microspore mother cells? 4 microspore mother cells. Where is the count for 4 microspore mother cells? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are there? 4 are there. 4 4 microspore mother cells are there, undergoes 4 meiosis. Altogether 16 pollen grains are produced. So, in the question whenever bisporangiate is there, guys, make sure that you remember we have to take the count for 2 microspore mother cells. Number of meiotic divisions are 2. How many pollen grains produced means 8. Suppose if the anther condition is dithecous, meaning 2 theca, bilobed mean 2 lobes are present, each lobe having 2 chambers. When there are 2 lobes are there, 4 chambers are there. Each chamber is having 1 microspore mother cell. 4 chambers will be having 4 microspore mother cells, undergoes 4 meiosis, lead to formation of what? 16 pollen grains. Now, the condition is said to be called as what? Tetrasporangiate. Right. Now, these are about the 2 types of anther. Look at here, monothecous, unilobed anther, also called as what? Bisporangiate. Here the condition is dithecous, bilobed anther, and the condition is tetrasporangiate. So, these 2 categories are very, very important. The final conclusion out of the categories when you take, again I repeat, bisporangiate meaning 2 microspore mother cells undergo 2 meiosis and 8 pollen grains. Why? Because the basic is 1 microspore mother cell undergoes 1 meiosis, produces 4 pollen grains or microspores. Now, coming to dithecous or bilobed anther, 2 theca are there, 2 lobes are present, 4 chambers are there. Tetrasporangiate meaning 4 microspore mother cells undergoes 4 meiosis but produces 16 pollen grains. So, let us continue our discussion with anther, or itself we call stamen, also called as androecium. Anther, stamen, also called as what? Androecium. Now, when we look at this category here, in this case, anther, androecium when you take, importantly here let us write few important note points to be remembered here. So, the note points are nothing but we need to stress more on this. Staminode, try to remember the term staminode. What is the meaning of staminode in this case? So, here we take into consideration of a sterile stamen is called. A sterile stamen is called staminode. Staminode means a sterile stamen. What is the meaning of sterile stamen here? Again I give you the meaning for this. Sterile stamen means here stamen do not produce. Stamen do not produce fertile pollen grains. Stamen do not produce a fertile pollen grains. So, in this case what is the meaning of this? Stamen is there, no doubt. Anther is there. Anther is being supported by filament, no doubt. This is totally itself is also called as stamen. Now, in this do not produce fertile pollen grains, meaning here the pollen grains are produced here, but these pollen grains are, we said to be sterile. Sterile meaning, sterile pollen grains meaning not fertile, means they don't participate or they don't participate in the process called fertilization. Fusion of male and female, it's called fertilization. So when you take stamen here, stamen do not produce fertile pollen grains. What do we say? Stamen do not produce fertile pollen grains, meaning here these pollen grains does not participate in fertilization. No doubt pollen grains are produced, but they will not participate in fertilization. So we call them as fertile pollen grains. They are not fertile pollen grains. Such type of sterile stamen itself is called as staminode. Now let us take examples for staminode. Very important. For staminode I am writing the examples. Now remember cassia. Cassia is one type and other type is tamarindus. Cassia is one type, other one is what? Tamarindus. So staminode, if you take, the stamen do not produce fertile pollen grains. For example, if you take cassia and tamarindus, in that some of the anthers, some of the stamens maybe they are sterile. Such type they are called as what? Staminode. Now apart from this, suppose if you take for example, another note point I am writing. This is note point number 1, very important point which you need to remember. And another second important note point, in case of Kenna, in Kenna, very important, example Kenna you try to remember. Kenna is nothing but name of the plant. In Kenna we find Staminodes petaloid. Staminode petaloid. What is the meaning of petaloid here? Petaloid meaning here, the meaning for petaloids I am writing here, stamens are fused with petals. Stamens are fused with petals. Very important. You can know very clearly here the stamens. Stamens means androecium anther and that is fused with petals, completely fused with petals, but here that is a sterile stamen. Sterile stamen is called as what? Staminode. So what you can write instead of this? Instead of stamens I can write here as a sterile stamens. What we can write? A sterile stamens fused with petals. Where do you find such type of condition? We find in case of Kenna. Now another very important one, in case of other plant, that is Calotropis. Calotropis. This is also one of the plant, example Calotropis. Now in case of Calotropis, what do we do here? In this case we say that stamens fused with pollen grains, or better you can write down fused pollen grains. What you can write? All pollen grains which are present within the stamen are fused. Better you can write down fused pollen grains called pollinium. What do we call here? It's called as what? Pollinium. The fused pollen grains itself is called as what? Pollinium. Now let us come to the point here. Calotropis is there. In Calotropis stamens are present. Within the stamens fused pollen grains are there. All pollen grains are joined together and they form. See here, this is nothing but the anther I am speaking about. This is anther. In this case all pollen grains are fused, joined together. These are nothing but pollen grains. All pollen grains are joined together, fused here, and enclosed in a bag-like structure. This bag-like structure itself is called as pollinium. Enclosed in a bag-like structure, this bag-like structure itself is called as pollinium. So, what is pollinium? Guys, I will tell you again. So, in this case, if you look at, this is the anther, what the globular structure you can see. Inside what are present are called pollen grains. These all pollen grains are fused, joined. One pollen grain is attached with the other pollen grain and all are enclosed in a bag-like structure. This is a bag-like structure. This is together, it is called pollinium. Suppose in the question, suppose you get the question, pollinium contains pollen grains. Where do you find such type of case? In case of Calotropis. So, these are the three important note points which you have to remember. What are they? Let us take the first one, staminode. What is the meaning of staminode? A sterile stamen itself is called staminode. That means, why do you call the stamen as sterile? Why we are not calling it as a fertile? Sterile stamen means a stamen do not produce a fertile pollen grains. It will not produce fertile pollen grains. Where do you find staminode condition? We find in case of Cassia and Tamarindus. Similarly, coming to second one, in Kenna. In Kenna, did you remember? Kenna we studied for where? Asymmetrical, irregular flower. A flower cannot be divisible into two equal halves in any plane of angle of division. Irregular flower, asymmetrical flower, where it is present? It is present in Kenna. Guys, you have to remember the example. If the example is repeated, the example is an example for what are the concepts. In Kenna, the staminode is petaloid. What is the meaning of this? A sterile stamens fused with petals. What do we find here? A sterile stamens fused with petals. Now, coming to in Calotropis, what happens in the plant of Calotropis? Stamens are fused with pollen grains, or we say within the stamens fused pollen grains are present. All pollen grains join together and the structure is called as pollinium. See here, now pollinium means a bag-like structure. This is nothing but anther. Within that all pollen grains are joined, all pollen grains are fused. Then this is called as what? Such type of structure is called as pollinium. Very, very important. So, note points, whenever I give, note points are nothing but question getting points. They are very, very important. Right? Now, let us continue further. Now, so here let us talk about the stamens again. Stamens or I write here as androecium, right. So, here stamens or androecium. Look at the arrangement here. So, let us write arrangement of stamens or androecium. Now, basically when you talk about how stamens are arranged, how androecium arranged, if you look at, basically we have two types. How many types do we have? Two types. What are they? Let us take the first one as cohesion and take other one as adhesion. What are the two types we have? Cohesion and we find what is called adhesion. Right. Now, when you take the cohesion, remember the term meaning cohesion, it is called, wherever the cohesion terminology will come, that meaning here fusion of similar members. What do you find here? The fusion of similar members. We find cohesion meaning the fusion of similar members. When similar members are joined together, it's called as cohesion. Guys, whenever we get the terminology in taxonomy, we have other chapter called taxonomy. There also we get terminology called cohesion. Whenever we get cohesion, the term meaning fusion of similar members. What is the meaning of adhesion? So, here we say fusion of dissimilar members, fusion of dissimilar members. The dissimilar means they may be different in terms of their structure and function, then they are called as adhesion. Adhesion meaning fusion of dissimilar members. What is a cohesion meaning? Fusion of similar members. Now, what are they here? Now, in this case, again the cohesion is again further divided into 3 types. Now, what are the 3 types of here? Let us take the first category under this is Adelphi, and second category is Syngenesius. Second category is Syngenesius, and the third category is called as Synandrous. So, we write all 3 categories. Cohesion meaning the fusion of similar members. It is further divided into 3 types. What are they? Adelphi, Syngenesius, Synandrous. Now, when you take the Adelphi here, Syngenesius here, Synandrous here, in all these 3 cases, there is a fusion of similar members. Similar members, they join together and they form the structures. Then, this Adelphi, it is further divided into 3 categories. The first one is called as Monoadelphous. The first one is called as Monoadelphous. Second category is called as Diadelphous, and then followed by a third one is called as Polyadelphous. The first category is called as Monoadelphous, second category is called as Diadelphous, and third category is called as Polyadelphous. Then Syngenesius and Synandrous. Remember, in all 3 cases there is a fusion of similar members. Now, coming to adhesion in this case, fusion of dissimilar members. What are the dissimilar members we find? Now, this is also divided into many cases. Let us take first one is Epicephalus. First category is Epicephalus. Then second one is Epipetalus. And the third category is nothing but Epiphilus. And the fourth category under this, Gynostegium. All the categories will fall in the category called adhesion. So, adhesion is further divided into altogether 4 types. We will discuss each and everything in detail. First, let us have a look on the overall block diagram here. Now, what we are discussing in this case, arrangement of stamens and androecium within the flower. When you take any flower, what could be the arrangement of stamens? That thing we are discussing under what is called arrangement. Now, the arrangement is how many types? We find 2 types. What are the 2 types here? Cohesion, and what we find here is adhesion. What is cohesion? Fusion of similar members. Similar members means sepals, but here we are talking about stamens. One stamen is fused with another stamen. So, when 2 are fused together, this is also stamen, this is also stamen. When 2 stamens are fused, both are similar, it is called cohesion. Right. This is again further divided into 3 types. What are they? Adelphi. We will discuss what is Adelphi. But Adelphi is, remember, further divided into monoadelphous, diadelphous, polyadelphous. Right. The second one is syngenesious and third one is synandrous. These 3 will come under cohesion. Coming to adhesion, in this case fusion of dissimilar members. There is a different members. So, what we are talking is arrangement of stamen. Stamen may be fused with sepal. Stamen may be fused with petal. So, stamen is different, sepal is different. So, both are dissimilar members. Sometimes the stamen is fused with petals. Stamen is different, petal is different. Then it is called epipetalous, or what is called epiphyllous, perianth. Perianth means no difference between calyx and corolla, it is called perianth, that is epiphyllous. Coming to gynostegium, gynostegium means this is stamen, stamen fused with gynoecium. Stamen is different, gynoecium is different, both are dissimilar members. So, whenever there is a fusion of dissimilar members, then it is said to be adhesion, right.